11 years. That's how long it's been since Multiplex released the FunCub. Today, they occasionally surface on eBay for upwards of $450 in a ready-to-fly configuration. If you're lucky like us, you may be able to snag one for one aviation unit at a swap meet, but these are even harder to score. FunCubs fly slower. Here's why. Impossibly, it looks just as intimidating as its full-scale counterpart, but at a 40-ounce flying weight, it's a perfected version. 500-foot takeoff distances get downscaled by a factor of more than 100. One's pilot is airborne, and the other's pilot, well, resides on the ground. Sure, the ability to get airborne quickly isn't the sole thing to look for in a great airplane. The comparison we're really looking for is wing loading. The FunCub doesn't fall all that much quicker than a leaf from a tree. Wing loading is the total mass of an aircraft divided by its total wing area. The lower the number, the floatier a plane will fly. Floatiness is critical for STOL ops. The FunCub's wing loading comes in at 9.8 ounces per square foot, whereas the PA-18, unfortunately, trails behind at a whopping 134 ounces per square foot. This really isn't something you'd consider trying with full scale. There's just no getting around that this is an apples to oranges comparison. So let's go ahead and shift our focus more to apple, FunCub to FunCub, mano a mano. This exquisite example of an original FunCub is powered by a knockoff Chinese motor. But our experience leads us to recommend equipping yours with a 12x6 prop mounted on an E-Flite Park 480 motor paired with a 40-amp ESC and a 3S 2200 mAh battery. For your control surface deflection, max. There's really no better word for this. Everything maxed by any means necessary. For the flaps, 45 to 50 degrees. Though we would like to suggest not trying to inflict pain on those poor servos. You might still be laughing at the sheer ugliness of this FunCub. However, it's the best way to demonstrate the beauty of this relic. It continues flying no matter what. Think Energizer Bunny. In addition, the FunCub is what taught us that manufacturer-recommended CG ranges are generally incredibly conservative. As a personal preference, we fly ours with the battery all the way back to the end of the battery tray. Between the two of us here at Tail Heavy, we've owned over 10 FunCubs in the past 11 years. Each one had its quirks, sure, but some quirks unfortunately presented themselves as, well, design flaws. Up first, the tail wheel, or lack thereof. We almost decided to not pursue writing and producing this video because, well, we had just released a video informing folks that centerline control is something that isn't taught enough in the RC world. Yet, here we are, the following week, releasing a video where there probably isn't a single clip that shows a decent centerline even being followed. That's okay though, because a tail wheel is at the center of the toxic relationship between your fingers and your plane's ground track. Miscommunication appears when the tail wheel exaggerates the velocity of the tail in a turn. All its ground handling problems can be traced back to the tail root of the plane, a flimsy piece of piano wire. That's right, folks. Out of the box, your tail wheel will stay straight for a handful of flights. However, as with the shelter being continuously forced to weather storms, the next one only weakens it further. Sure, you can try and bend her back into youth, but each correction leaves her looking more and more like a Kardashian. Up next, the mains. The main landing gear isn't all that different from the tail wheel. Both use bendable wire, and this results in the gear being quite flimsy by most hobbyist standards. Some might look at this as a negative, but to us, it's a positive. In an attempt to be optimists, at least the tires that are attached to the flimsy gear are incredibly light. Continuing our glass-half-full approach, let's talk about the FunCub Advantage. What makes the perfect bush plane? Agility? Zero ground roll landings? Something light enough to walk on water? Or something as simple as being able to take it with you anywhere? For us, it's a plane that keeps you in shape. Something you're not afraid to push yourself with because of its impalpable design. As Multiplex deemed her, she's the all-rounder. Apologies for the crappy German accent, but Multiplex created a beyond capable flying machine utilizing a characteristic few consider holy: low wing loading. Prepare your Kleenex box. The FunCub is what inspired us at Tail Heavy to pursue the concept of flying outside the box. She made us confident to start flying in places and ways we'd never have considered before. Raise a glass, everyone. Cheers to the OG FunCub. Bounce one on for us. Happy landings.